Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of FGC Behind the Smoke. I'm your co-host Adamo.
I'm co-host Boris. Today we got a very special guest with us today, Sachin Latti. Sachin is a former law enforcement officer turned ultra endurance athlete and mental health advocate who has dedicated his life to supporting first responders and veterans struggling with mental health challenges. During his 18 years with the Canada Border Services Agency, Sachin witnessed firsthand the psychological toll that service takes on those who protect our communities. After facing his own mental health challenges, Sachin transformed his personal struggle into a mission of hope and support. He founded the Sach-in-Motion Fund, which has raised over $78,000 for mental health initiatives supporting veterans and first responders. His extraordinary athletic achievements include completing 100 kilometers in 15 hours, running 9 ultramarathons in 9 months, and conquering 22 marathons in 22 consecutive days, and running 60 kilometers a day for 60 days. In June of 2025, Sachin will attempt to make history as the first South Asian veteran and first responder to run across Canada, covering 7,500 kilometers in 75 days. This unprecedented challenge will require running 100 kilometers daily to raise awareness and funds for mental health support in the services community. His journey from law enforcement officer to ultra-endurance athlete exemplifies the resilience and determination that characterizes our first responder community. Through his speaking engagements and physical challenges, Sachin delivers a powerful message. No one who serves others should suffer in silence. His story resonates deeply with firefighters, law enforcement officers, and all first responders who understand the importance of mental health support in our service community.
Damn, dude, that's awesome. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. I liked when you guys first started, man. You guys were getting after it. So
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool because this is the first time we've met in person, but we've talked a lot over social media, and we've been sharing each other's posts and just kind of supporting each other. You know, we think what you're doing is absolutely amazing, and you've shared some of our posts, and we really appreciate the support that you've shown for us.
No, for sure, man. I mean, for me, it's all about being around like-minded people, man. And if we align and if we vibe, and if you're saying things that I agree with, or if I'm saying things that you agree with, then why not share each other's platforms?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I totally agree.
Good mentality.
Man, just when Boris was reading off your bio there, I was thinking, because yesterday I got a really good workout in at work. I had a good pump on, and then it's you're running 60 kilometers a day, and I'm like, damn.
Spent 3 kilometers on the treadmill, just dying.
Yeah, exactly. 60K, man. Holy crap. Before we started recording, I told Sach, I'm like, I don't think I've ever ran 60K in my entire life. And you're doing it daily, dude. That's crazy.
I know, actually, as you were reading it out, man, I was like, I still even kind of dumbfound, man, over the last 4 or 5 years that I've been kind of doing all these things, because I've been just kind of keeping my head down, plugging, and just kind of grinding. And sometimes I don't sit back and reflect. And you know, as you were doing that, I was reflecting. I was like, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
I've run a bit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Were you a runner beforehand?
Oh, man.
Really?
I just started running.
Damn.
I started running in 2020.
Okay.
During the pandemic. And before that, look, man, I was a bodybuilder, jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah.
You know, never ran. Even in high school, I was on the wrestling team, and I hated running. I was the worst runner on my wrestling team, man. I was always the last guy. Everyone's lapping me. So that's kind of what precipitated me running, man. I was dealing with some issues, and I, picked up Can't Hurt Me, Goggins' first book, and I read the first couple chapters, and I was basically, the underlying theme is chase adversity. Mm-hmm. So then I thought, well, what do I not like doing? I don't like running. Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's kind of what started that process.
It's amazing how your mindset on things can just change the direction of your life, right? You hated running, and then you read a couple chapters of this book, and you're like, fuck it, I'm running, and I don't like it, I'm gonna like it.
Hey, man, I'll let you in a little secret. I still don't like it.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, I tell, when I talk to my friends or whatever, I'm like, man, I freaking hate running, man. I absolutely hate it, but I don't do it because I like it. I do it because I'm purpose driven.
Yeah.
To achieve a goal, right? And as soon as I'm done my goal, I'll probably do something else.
Totally.
Yeah.
That was in the Goggins book too, right? He's just bleeding, his toes are falling off, or toenails, I mean, and he's just I need to do this for myself, type of thing. And
yeah, you know what it is, man? there's an element of doing it for myself, I guess. But really, it's about other people, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not even like if it was about myself, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
honestly, like I'd rather just go, hang out with some friends and roll on the mats and
Yeah.
go for a run, then go for a run or hit the gym, hang out with some boys or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do recognize how it does help me,
Mhm.
like mentally and in terms of like mental capacity and resilience.
Yeah.
Totally.
But yeah, man, if it was just for me, I probably wouldn't do it.
Probably also like knowing all the people that you're helping, right? Like, I mean, that's got to be a huge motivator for you, right? Like, yeah, of course it's tough and you're dealing with this adversity and you're kind of working through that mental toughness, but really it's the whole purpose behind it, and for those people that's really got to be such a motivating factor in this.
Yeah, man, it's everything.
Yeah.
Like over the last week or so, we've been doing a lot of like filming for some of the promotional stuff for the Run Across Canada coming up soon, and I had a friend of mine who's he's also a videographer and photographer, and he's in Ottawa right now, and he's currently serving in the military, but he does photography on the side just for as a side gig.
Nice.
And so I brought him out here so we can do some filming and create some content, which will be coming out over the next month. And that's kind of when I started reflecting a little bit more on what's going on, how things are happening, and how I'm training and all that. Because he was meeting people and interviewing them and talking to them and doing all that kind of stuff. And I was tripping out, man. I was like, holy shit, man. I didn't realize like people are that impacted. Like,
Yeah.
again, man, I keep my head down. I keep grinding. I know I get connected with a lot of people, but sometimes I don't stop long enough to kind of recognize it.
Yeah,
And
to reflect on it.
Yeah, so it's been very humbling, man. Like that, recognizing that the little bit that I do does help some people. So
Well, I mean, like in your bio there, you've raised $78,000, which it might be more now because you had sent that bio a while ago. But I mean, that alone, I mean, holy crap, dude, that's a huge accomplishment for this, right?
yeah,
Like,
man, and that gets me fired up because it's like, man, it's not enough.
yeah, yeah.
Honestly, man, it's like 78K, 80K, man. I'm like, that's awesome. And I was one individual just kind of running around on my social media raising money, and 80K is significant, but I think it's not enough. And so the goal for the Run Across Canada is to be like 10x that.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe more, right? So I think with the things that are unfolding and some of the people that are kind of starting to come in to kind of assist this project that I'm working on, we've set a goal of $7.5 million during the summer.
Nice.
So
Unreal, dude.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man. That's awesome.
Any dollar, honestly. I know, like, speaking as a military, I like, man, even if you raise $5, it's like, okay, this guy's on our side. Like, that's awesome.
100%. Well, and what I've noticed, man, is like, and what kind of really amped me up when I first started this is like, cancer is an amazing cause and should be supported. BC Children's Hospital, all these different causes. But they do get the large sum of the attention and funds, which they do deserve. But I also think that the veteran and first responder community kind of gets left behind because people think, the government, they work for the government, they're squared away, they're all sorted out, no issue. But the reality is there's massive issues that
Totally, man.
and a lot of people fall through the cracks. So I think, if I can play a small part in kind of raising some of that awareness and raise some money, then yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So Boris was in the military as well, but
Yeah, I was actually looking through your Instagram before you came, and I'm like, oh, he's wearing olive drab. This was a while back.
Yeah, man. Listen, I didn't do much when I was in the military. I went to the military college in Kingston, Ontario.
Yeah.
And I was there for a year and a bit, and I had my own issues, man. I was drinking too much, and I wasn't studying at all.
yeah.
And it was like my mental health at the time was not great, and pretty much most of my life it's been kind of up and down, depression and anxiety. Just didn't really recognize it.
Well, you were young, right? 23 when you got in? 22?
Yeah, I was. I'm 47 now, so it was the summer of 2001. So what, 24 years ago? Yeah, so 22, 23.
Yeah.
23. And but yeah, so I was fucked up, man. I was in no position to try to be in that position that I was in.
Yeah.
But having said that, I needed to go there and learn a few things and kind of understand what I didn't know.
Totally.
And I understand that a lot better now because I'm able to reflect back on that time. Like, man, I was a hot mess.
Yeah. Yeah. but life experience, right? Like it probably provided that life experience for you a bit, right?
Now it has. Looking back at the time, man, no, because I was lost, man. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I didn't, to reflect on anything, you don't really recognize it. But now, at the age of 47, I can reflect back and I'm like, okay, that was kind of a good sort of experience for me to kind of put in my back pocket and meet some pretty cool people and
Yeah.
understand some cool things.
What was your motivation for getting into the military originally?
Yeah, good question. There's a few different things. One, this is a family history. Not in Canada, but like my grandfather was a cop. My great uncle, my great grandfather, they were all in the military. My uncle was in the military, but all in India. So that was one element, and the other element, I was fucked up, man. I wasn't doing shit, man.
Yeah.
I was just kind of bumming around, not
Yeah.
doing much. 22 years old. My parents were like, "What the hell are you doing?" Like, super disappointed.
Yeah.
And my dad just at one point was like, "Man, what are you gonna do with your life? Do something."
Yeah.
He's like, "Why don't you just join the military?" I was like, "Okay." So that's kind of what got me to apply and go in that direction. And the reality is, man, I didn't know what to do with my life at all.
Yeah.
And the reality is, I only really figured that out about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I kind of lived a life that I thought other people wanted me to live,
Right.
rather than what I wanted to kind of do.
Mm-hmm.
So most of my life was just lost. to be
Yeah.
honest. Yeah.
I think like you saying that you lived a life that other people wanted you to live. I think there's a lot of people that do that out there.
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of people that do that, and knowingly or not, right? But I know, like for me, like my whole family is basically law enforcement, and then I kind of went the other route into firefighting because I was like, I see myself doing this more than anything else, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, it was the same thing with my family. Like back in Serbia, it was mandatory, right? So everyone was in the military. Even my mom, because it was during communism, right? They had to learn some kind of basic defense and things like that. So it's, I'm not going to be the first male in my family that doesn't go to the military, And it's that whole like doing what you think is. I mean, I learned a lot of great things, and I don't regret going to the army, but it was the same kind of thing, like doing what you thought was supposed to be the next step.
Yeah, man. No, for sure. I think, like, I mean, you guys talk to a lot of people. I talk to a lot of people, and what I've recognized is that most people are that way because it's hard to kind of figure out what you want to do with your life authentically and honestly because you don't know who you are at a certain age, right?
totally.
So how does someone figure out who they are? Well, you got to do things and experience things and fail a bunch of times and succeed a bunch of times and kind of go through that process to understand what you actually want.
Yeah.
And so for me, I didn't have the courage to figure that out until a little bit later. And then I kind of did it in a way that was like isolating from everybody else. But having said that, I kind of understand what I want to do and how I want to live my life. And that doesn't really need too much.
Yeah.
And I don't, like, honestly, I don't need a car, like a fancy car. I don't need a fancy place. As long as I can do what I like to do, which is connect with some cool people and serve in some capacity.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of serving, so you did 18 years with CBSA.
Mhm.
What was that like?
It was good.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a good experience overall. I mean, it was it's a government, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I've realized over the last few years I just don't belong in those type of environments.
Yeah.
Cog in a machine.
Yeah, man. I just it wasn't good for me.
Yeah.
Like it really wasn't good for me mentally, man, because I wanted to do things and I understand it's a big sort of organization and you are a cog in a wheel, right? So it's like, you want to do something or you want to suggest something, it's generally brought on with some hesitation.
Yeah.
Totally, man. Yeah.
And then also, it's the government, so like, it's not, in my opinion, a meritocracy.
Yeah.
And it's based on, I don't want to whine and complain about things, so it's not really what I want to do. But having said that, there are, I just realized that it's not an environment for me.
Right.
And I prefer not to be in that environment. I'm happy for those who love it and who enjoy it and who appreciate that role. But yeah,
What did
for me.
What did you like about it? Finding weird stuff in someone's trunk?
Man, it's
No,
like,
not
I
that
don't
stuff.
give a shit about anything. I liked like interviewing people.
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked that skill set, like trying to figure out something and trying to get information out of someone who didn't want to give it to you.
Yeah.
That's what I liked.
That's cool.
And that could be anything, man. Drugs, food, whatever. I don't
Yeah.
like whatever. I didn't really care what it was personally. It was
Yeah.
for me the game of trying to find something out of somebody that didn't want to tell me.
Yeah.
That's what I liked. Everything else was whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Because like at least for me, that's kind of the stuff I kind of dig, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't like a cop or like a detective or any of these things. So I wanted to kind of learn how to do, interview people
Yeah.
and try to, win that cat and mouse game.
Totally. Yeah, for sure. That's awesome.
Use that on my Pro Beat tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, it's fun, man. Like you get to like really, it's a different dynamic too when someone's in front of you. The dynamic's a bit different because they're not feeling super comfortable, right?
Yeah.
And and it could be something like nothing even crazy. Like the craziest things would happen with like you might get like a female coming here and you're like, why are you, like, what are you doing here? Like a foreign national, right? Like
Yeah.
they're from, I don't know, the States, England, wherever, doesn't matter. And they're coming here, but they don't know anyone here, and they're coming here for a few days, maybe 3 days from a country that's, let's say, a 10-hour flight. It's like, okay, what are you doing here? Like, you don't have any friends here. You're not doing any business. What's going on?
Right.
And then you notice that they're being deceptive, but you don't understand what's happening. And sometimes, like 9 times out of 10, it would be like they're just coming here to cheat on their husband. Right? Like,
Just coming to have an
but
affair.
they're going in like circles, and you're like, man, this chick have drugs. What, like, all this.
Yeah.
But you end up finding out, okay, well, my husband's back home. I'm coming to meet this dude. And I'm like, okay, well, just tell me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to tell your husband. I don't know him.
I don't give a shit. Like, so, like people, I think another fun thing was just things like that, man. Like just, hey, look, educating people on what we really care about.
Yeah.
And we're not the morality police.
Yeah.
Right? You just do whatever the fuck you want to do, man.
Yeah.
But as long as you're not like bringing drugs over the border or like doing something illegal, right? It's whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's hilarious, man. So you talked earlier a bit about your mental health issues that you had been dealing with, the depression and anxiety. And, obviously that's got to be a big proponent as to your run, right, that you're doing. And can you tell us a bit about that? And
Yeah, for sure, man. It also kind of started about 2019. I was going through a divorce, right? So that kind of started the movement of not being too happy.
Yeah.
And look, man, I wasn't the greatest husband. So for me, it was like I was presented with the guy who I actually was rather than the guy who I thought I was.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I was a piece of shit husband, like straight up, man. And I didn't think I was, but I was. So then that kind of made me feel in a certain way because I was actually reflecting on who I was. And I was like, oh, man, how do I correct some of these behaviors? How do I do things better? And that's what started the process. And then, then the pandemic kicks off. Now I'm isolated a bit more than normal. Most of my friends the last 18 years started disconnecting, weren't really hanging out much. And then I was dealing with a lot of work issues, a lot of things happening on the workplace that were affecting me negatively. So pretty much everywhere, home, work, recreationally, everything fell apart.
Yeah.
And then, we were doing a work rotation where we were doing 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off because of the pandemic. We didn't want to make sure that anybody, got sick, and we shut down the operation. So now I'm sitting at home for 2 weeks in the basement suite of the house that I bought with my ex-wife, and my daughter's running around upstairs, and I can't really hang out, do nothing because we're like straight up separated and divorced. So that added to my depression and anxiety. And I didn't have any windows or no sunlight really coming in the basement suite, so that added to it. So yeah, man, I was in the hurt locker, man. I wasn't doing good. And I was ruminating on a lot of things, and I ended up having a major depressive episode. I wasn't sleeping for months, and then it got to a point where it's like I was just so manic, man. I couldn't even think straight. I had mental fog. My memory was like shit. Like I remember one time my daughter was with me. She was watching TV, and I was cooking some rice, and then I was doing something else, and then I forgot I was cooking rice. Like just shit would just fly in my head. I was like, and like, so little things like that would never happen. Were happening. And so I was like, I think I got to go see the doctor. Actually, no, I know exactly what happened. I was with my daughter. My ex-wife was at work, and I was in the basement suite. So she allowed to have that, the door open from the basement suite to go upstairs because I was taking care of my daughter. So when we had that arrangement where she wasn't there, I would I would be with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And but I was just like in a manic state. I was trying to put her new bed together, and then my ex's mom did a video call just to say, hey, everything okay, kind of thing. And she saw my face and she's like, I'm coming over. Something doesn't look very good. You don't look good.
Wow.
Like I'm gonna pick up your daughter. And then I lost it. I was like, I thought she was gonna take her away from me. Like I didn't understand what she was actually saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started freaking out, and then long story short, I calmed down, and I reckoned she's like, I'll take, your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She can stay with me. You need to go see the doctor, man. And I was like, okay. So I went to go see the doctor, and ended up getting an emergency appointment, and I couldn't even sit straight, man. Like I was sitting down in the chair, and I just couldn't stop shaking.
Wow.
Like I was just shaking nonstop. And then the doctor comes in. He's like, yeah, okay, yeah. He's asked a few questions. How long, what was your sleep like? How long you've not been sleeping? And, all the questions. And he's like, yeah, it sounds like you have a major depressive episode, so we're going to prescribe you some medication. And then I started that process. So I started medication, started seeing psychologists more regularly, and then started trying to find ways to kind of dig myself out. So that's kind of the beginning of me figuring out what I should do to help myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How'd you feel when you went to the hospital and you were talking to the doctors? Did you feel that they like understood what you were going through, or were they just kind of like, here, man, here's some medication, try this out, and good luck kind of thing? Or
No, I was fortunate so I saw my GP, and he was a new GP,
Mm-hmm.
but he was a younger guy, and he, I think he values the kind of mental health conversation, and he advocates a bit. So he was pretty good. Like he was taking his time, he was paying attention. But again, I was in a defensive state.
Yeah.
It still takes me a long time to trust people, but I'm talking to the doctor. I'm like, go fuck yourself, man.
yeah.
But no, it was needed.
Yeah.
100%, it was needed.
Mhm.
And so yeah.
Yeah. And then so, you they give you this medication and you're seeing a psychologist and stuff. Like, how did running come into play here?
Oh man, it's a great question. So a few more things started happening. I ended up having my tools also removed from the workplace based on what they were observing in terms of my behavior. People knew who I was in the workplace and could understand how what was normal for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it was shifted into, oh man, something's off here. Like
Yeah.
it was quite,
Right.
when you're working in an environment, you see everyone every single day, you know what's normal, what isn't.
Totally.
And I think it's incumbent upon all of us and in the workplace to also pay attention to our colleagues to see what's normal, what isn't. So then when things do shift, we can intervene in some capacity. So that's kind of what was happening. People were like, "Whoa, what's going on here, man?" Like, and so I don't even blame them. I think it's probably, if I were in their position, I probably would have had my tools removed. Just, you don't know, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that I was
just as a
good-
precaution.
Yeah, precautionary thing.
Yeah.
So no, that also wasn't a good experience for me either, right? Like what happens when you identify as a thing and having that removed. So then I felt I felt like I lost everything at that point, right? Divorce, no financial means are gone. Workplace is starting to be shitty. Friends are disappearing, and now my uniform and tools are taken.
Your identity, essentially.
Yeah, so I was not good, man.
Yeah.
And then, so that was when I was like, man, what am I gonna do, man? Like I'm fucked. Like everything. Like I've driven my life into a ditch. I don't even know how to get myself out of it. And so I would start listening to podcasts, and I wasn't a reader, so I started reading. And I dove deep on some Jordan Peterson lectures, not like before he really blew up. It was like some of his lectures that he would have. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I picked up one of his book. I read that, and then picked up Jocko Willink's Extreme Ownership. I read that. And then I started kind of trying to take ownership of some of the things that were happening in my life, taking responsibility. And so that kind of started the process of like giving me some breathing room. And then I read a bit of Can't Hurt Me, the first couple chapters, and then I put the book down because I was like, oh, I'm good. I got what I wanted, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for a run. So I had these shoes that were probably 10 years old. And I just, I would put them on and I went out. And man, listen, I wasn't a runner. I was probably in and around 200 pounds. I'm about 170 something now. And I was about 200 pounds, not out of shape. And I'm about 5'8", 5'9".
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty, pretty fit. 10% body fat in and around there.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'll go for a run. And it was it was hard, man. It was freaking hard. But having said that, I just kind of stuck with it, 5K a couple times a week, then 3 times a week, and then progressively increasing a little bit here and there. And then
Nice.
fortunately for me, I do have a certain type of mentality where I kind of dive deep in things, and I don't dabble. I just kind of go all in.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I did, and kept pushing, kept setting goals, kept achieving those goals. And every time I set a goal and achieved it, I was like, oh shit, man, I never thought I could do that. What else can I do? So
Right.
I set a standard, then I wanted to find a new standard. I set a
Nice.
standard, I wanted to find a new standard, and that's
Wow.
essentially what I kind of started doing.
Yeah.
That's a great mentality.
I think a lot of people, they exercise for mental health and stuff like that, because it is proven to be a really, really good thing to help with your mental health. But you took it to this next level. So like, you started running, you're setting these standards for yourself and these goals, and you're achieving them. How did you decide that you wanted to run across Canada then? Because it's, I could see you like doing marathons and, ultra marathons and this kind of stuff, but to run across Canada, that is a huge, like, compared to where you were previously, and to have that goal, that's just such a huge, like, inspiration, right? Like,
It's a huge leap.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how does someone go from not running a 5K race to let's go run across Canada?
Yeah.
Basically.
Exactly.
No,
Yeah.
for sure, man. Because I don't like running. I don't give a shit about races.
Yeah.
I really don't. I mean, not like, I'm not saying they're bad or anything. It's not my vibe.
It's not your
Just not your
thing.
thing. Yeah.
man.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And for me, it wasn't. I also have a pretty big ego, right? And so it's been a process for me to figure out and understand how to manage it. So when I first started running, I was, and also, to be fair, like I started meeting some pretty cool people that also inspired me which meeting people that have also done amazing things allows you to know that, oh, anybody can do amazing things, given the amount of effort and time you want to put into something. So I started meeting people, and it kind of opened up my eyes to not what's possible, but like what could be earned through hard effort.
Yeah.
Right. And so when I first started running, the first year was just me figuring it out on my own, just kind of running around, doing these little runs, just personal runs. So like when I first started, I think within 3 months, I was like, let me see if I can run 21K. And I just finished a shift at work, and it was shitty outside. The weather was kind of rainy, and it was in October. And came home, and I had an argument with my ex-wife or something. And I was like, man, screw this, man. And so I picked up my shoes and went out. And I was like, went out for 3 hours and ended up running 21K. And if you know anything about running, that's not fast at all. Like for a half marathon.
I don't know, dude. Sounds pretty fast to me.
Well, so just to put in perspective, a reasonable time would be 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. So like right now, you guys could do 3 hour and a half. Like right now.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%. I can guarantee it right now. If you stepped out right now, I'd make sure you do it.
Yeah.
No, because the reality is based on, I have this conversation with a lot of people, but it's based on conviction. We can come back to that in a second if you want. But I ran 21 in that 3 hours, and man, that kind of helped a lot, man.
Yeah.
I never thought like in a million years I could run 21K. I never thought in a million years I'd do it myself without someone telling me to do it.
Yeah. That's the big part, right?
And so that when I did that, man, it kind of gave me something, gave me some confidence, self-worth, and I was like, shit, man, I never thought I could do that, and that started me even pushing.
Yeah.
So circling back to, I think everyone in here could probably run 21K right now, given the right motivation.
Right.
Right. So you might say, no, I can't do it right now. But if I pulled out a gun and said, I'm going to shoot your fucking brains out, then you're
Yeah, I could probably do it. I could probably do it then.
Where are my shoes? Where are my shoes?
No, but I mean,
Yeah.
it illustrates. I know it's kind of crude or,
No, but
aggressive
that's
sort of
legit,
point.
man.
But
Yeah.
I think it illustrates that we tell ourselves before we even know.
Yeah.
So like we tell ourselves, oh no, I can't do that, without even actually thinking about it.
Dude, that's such a good point.
Yeah,
That's such a good point, man. And I'm guilty of that for sure.
a lot of people are, man. You're not the. I am too.
I just like right when you said that, like I could think of a couple examples as to when I've been like, nah, I can't do that, and without even trying, right? So,
Bro, I tell
gotta
you
be
what,
better.
man. No, I tell you honestly, man. This, if you guys take anything away, you guys can do anything that you want to do if you want to do it.
yeah,
That's it. If you want to do it,
The wanting is a big,
right?
big
Now
thing, yeah.
that's what it's all about, man. Figuring out what your purpose, what your why is. Okay.
yeah,
Because otherwise, doing anything is gonna be a challenge, unless you know why you're doing it.
yeah.
Like if I'm starting a podcast. Okay, cool. You're probably gonna quit unless you know why you're doing it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
yeah.
are you
That's
doing
absolutely true.
True.
And now that you know you
Yeah.
want to provide a service to your brothers and sisters in uniform, and maybe give them some information, content, some whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, now you're gonna stick in the game a little bit longer because it's not about you.
Yeah.
And
that's
there's
so true,
there's a
man.
reason to do it. Now you're gonna grind deeper. Now you're gonna get better mics, better camera. You're gonna think about questioning better. That's
Yeah.
what purpose and reason comes to. So if you're gonna step into something, know why you're doing it before
Yeah.
you do it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Honestly, like you kind of hit the nail on the head there, because like I was talking to my wife the other day about the podcast this podcast we've been doing, and she's like, yeah, like you're just like always in such a good mood. You're so excited, and like I'm like, yeah, I'm like I just feel like I have this other purpose now, and like providing information to like all these aspiring first responders and firefighters, and I'm meeting new people, like cool people like you, and Boris and I are interviewing people, and like it's just created this whole new excitement and purpose and drive and motivation in my life. And I think I don't want to speak for Boris, but I think the same thing for you too, probably, right? So-
Yeah, it's that why. We figured out the why and why we do it and why
Yeah,
we like it.
exactly.
And yeah, it's great. I mean,
If you're having fun.
yeah,
yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
it is a lot of fun, man. And just like like we were saying earlier, just meeting new people, man. Like interviewing, you, and we had Sean on, and we've interviewed guys from work who, Mike Varga, his episode's coming out soon, but he's like a self-taught chef, and he got into cooking because he looked up to his dad, who was a good cook, but his dad had to learn how to cook because he fled Hungary during the communism takeover or whatever. So it's like you just learn so many cool things about people that you probably wouldn't have known before,
100%.
right?
Everyone's got a story.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's got a story if you're willing to listen to it.
Yeah.
And it's cool, man. I have fun talking to people, man. Like, listen, I don't go to work. All I do is train and try to raise awareness and connect with people. And
Yeah.
I don't miss going to work anymore, to be honest.
Well, because you have this purpose that's bigger than that, right?
Yeah, true. And look, and let's be clear, I don't make a ton of money,
Yeah.
but I like it.
Yeah.
I like what I'm doing, man.
Yeah.
And it's not about money. And I think for me, do I have certainty and stability? No.
Yeah.
But again, I don't really care, man. I'm
Yeah.
I'm happy with what I'm doing, and I lead with a sense of purpose. And, and then things have been kind of working out, so I just keep doing what I'm doing and keep hanging out, training, and connecting with people, man.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. Actually, speaking of training, I'd like to get into your training regimen a bit here. So are you running 60K a day? Is that what you're doing?
No, not right now.
Okay, I was like, holy crap.
'Cause you have to run 100K a day to meet that.
Yeah.
Right.
So when I run across Canada,
Yeah.
the goal is to average about 100K a day. There's going to be some days where we're going to be a little bit less because of the vertical gain.
Right.
Not significantly less, but there's also going to be some days where it's going to be a little bit more. So we're going to be balancing out about 100K a day throughout the entire 75-ish days that we're going to be traveling all across Canada, man. And this route, we were working on it last night. So I've been super fortunate over the last few weeks to meet some really amazing people that want to really help scale this to a level that could be, and like I'm no Terry Fox or Rick Hansen or anything like that, but with these types of people that are starting to help and assist, maybe we can create something that could turn into that over the next, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah, for sure.
So so we're gonna be I'll be going up to Edmonton as well, which wasn't in the original plan, but I'm going up there now because we want to engage with more people.
Right.
So there's a lot of moving pieces and parts to this that I'm still learning on how to do a lot of it. So it's not just training. Training is easy, man. I know what
Yeah.
to do and how to do it, and it's pretty straightforward.
Mhm.
It's really the question over the last year, and more precisely over the last few months, is how do we scale this to a movement to engage and galvanize the entire country?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the question. It's not really about, oh yeah, I'm running. Who gives a shit about me running 100K? It's like whatever, man.
Mhm.
It's just a way to get people involved to pay more attention to the mental health issues and raise a ton of money.
Yeah.
So when you have people who have deeper pockets and networks and connections, they can open up more doors. So for example, yesterday I had a meeting with KPMG in Vancouver, and they're like one of the top 4 accounting firms on the planet.
Wow.
And it wasn't a small little build. Man, it's tripping me out meeting some of these people, man, because like it was at 777 Dunsmuir, so they have like 5 floors in that building.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not like so I'm going in this building and I'm going up to the elevator. And I get into one of the floors to have my meeting, and the entire floor is their floor.
Yeah.
And then we go. She's like, "Oh, let's go into our little hangout room, whatever." They had record players in there, and they had snacks and stuff. I felt like I was in Suits. You ever?
Yeah.
I felt like I was there, man. But I spent a couple hours just sharing the story and what got me here and all that. So, meeting these types of people who are going to try to open up a few more doors to make more connections, so we can raise that massive goal of $7.5 million.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I'm working on, more so than the training piece.
Yeah, because you got the, like you said, like you have that mental fortitude to just keep pushing yourself when it comes to that run, right? It's more so about raising awareness of it in order to get donations and to help all these the first responder and veteran community, right?
Yeah. So one of the ways I was thinking about scaling this is obviously bringing on more charities too, right? Because now we can leverage their sort of donor databases to kind of get more awareness. So we're not just raising money for veterans and first responders now. There's 4 charities. So one charity will be supporting veterans and first responders. Another one's called Together We Can, which supports men and really just a grander scale of people with addiction. And it's the largest nonprofit men's addiction facility in Canada, based here in Vancouver.
Okay.
So that's another charity we're supporting. And another one's called Kids Play Foundation, which supports kids, keeping them away from drugs, gangs, and violence.
Yeah.
And by providing mentoring programs.
Cal's a buddy of mine.
Yeah. So Cal, he's actually hosting a gala on May 9th, where proceeds of which go towards the run.
Yeah,
and so
that's awesome.
If you guys know anybody, tables are $1,200, tax receipts, and then $150 a ticket.
We'll share that on our social media. I'll reach out to Cal and I'll get him to send me a pivot or something.
Yeah, he'll send you everything, and it's gonna be like a James Bond sort of theme, black tie kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then so we got Kids Play Foundation, Together We Can, and then the Canadian Men's Health Foundation. So we're gonna be those 4 different charities. So now we're approaching mental health from really a 360-degree perspective, so that we're not just only focusing on veterans and first responders, but we can bring more people in and support them where they need it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love what Cal does with just trying to keep kids away from a life of crime, and we've actually talked about having him on the podcast. We just got to lock down a date with him, but he's an awesome guy, man. And like you said, you're kind of tackling it from all angles, right? Like, and I think that's a huge thing, because mental health isn't just like so black and white. There's so much to it, right? So many different angles. So that's awesome, man.
Like again, I've been talking to so many different people, and obviously the primary group have been first responders and veterans, but now over the last few months I've been talking to even more people. And everyone's issues are basically the same, man. Right? Like, in terms of like the mental health related stuff, a lot of people struggle the same way. Veterans and first responders struggle in a different type of way, in that they feel like they can't share as much based on the uniform. But people are feeling the same way in all these different communities. So I figured, why not bring this together so that we can really put a megaphone to it and see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
But to the training, I don't want to skip the training part.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I am running a lot, but not 60 a day. We've been building over the last few months so I stopped lifting now since January. So all I do every single day, like I just run every day just
Yeah.
so that I can make sure that all my recovery time is squared for that.
Right.
But I'm running in and around 200 and 250K a week.
Wow.
Right? So that's going to be the training. So until the, closer to the run, I'll probably taper that down so that my body can recover and heal from the workload and then kickstart June 16th. But yeah, so what does 200, 250K a week look like? Well, there's some days that are shorter. So my shorter days are 15 or 20 kilometers. And then there's quality session days, which are twice a week, sorry, Tuesday or Thursday or, Wednesday and Sunday, something like that, where I'm running, let's say a 30K, but with paces. So like we're, trying to build more of that threshold pace.
Right.
So a little bit faster, which kind of burns me out a bit more. And then the rest of them are steady pace. So like slower, but larger volume. So let's say 40 to 60.
Right.
So today I'll probably be, I'm scheduled to do 50 or 60 today. And then tomorrow will be like a 15 or a 20 day. And then kind of do a couple more of those. And then Sunday back up to 30.
Wow.
Cool.
What about like nutrition wise? Like, because I mean, when you're running that much, like I gotta assume that like you're diminishing your electrolytes and all that kind of stuff. So when you're gonna do your run across Canada, right? Like you're doing a lot of like 100 kilometers in a day. That's a lot, right? So how are you getting that nutrition in?
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, first of all, it's going to be impossible to get enough food in over a 75-day period when I'm burning at 10,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
So I'll be in deficit the whole time. So goal is to try to gain weight before I start the run,
Okay.
which is still a challenge because I'm having difficulty gaining weight. So we're figuring that out. But to your point, electrolytes, I kind of have been working at this for about 5 years, trying to figure out dialing it in.
Yeah.
But tentatively, what I'll be doing as I'm running, probably having 700 to a liter of water every hour
Okay.
with 500 milligrams of sodium and electrolytes and 50 to 100 grams of carbs
Okay.
as I'm running. And then in between, then eating food.
Yeah.
So, let's say I run 20 or 30K, have a stop, grab some, a burger, fries, whatever it is, and then keep moving. And essentially that's going to be like that every single day.
Yeah.
And right now, my train, I pretty much eat whatever I want and don't really kind of track the calories or anything.
Yeah.
Like last night I had ice cream,
That's my favorite.
this morning I had some pancakes. After this I'll probably, I don't really measure it. Like I'll just eat whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, as healthy as I can, but I have to throw in, to be honest, like donuts and danishes and
Yeah.
ice cream because I need more calories. And,
Right.
And today's going to be a higher volume day, so I'll probably be eating a lot more calories
Yeah.
to make sure that I can.
Makes sense because you
Make it
need like the sugars, you need the carbs, you need the fats, right? Like you need that, like you said, the higher calories in order to just fuel yourself, right?
Also, here's another thing to consider. Also, mentally, right? This is a mentally draining journey.
Yeah.
So it's like doing the same thing. I haven't, like, to put it in perspective, I've been living this for 5 years. So people just see me or talk to me and it's like, oh yeah, I've been at this for 5 years nonstop. Like, so it's been progressively increasing my training load every year. So like, if you know anybody who competes in bodybuilding or any sort of jiu-jitsu tournament or whatever, they're just focused on like a 16-week period and that's about it really from a dialing things in perspective, or if you're doing a fight camp or something like that. I've been consistently training to run across Canada for 5 years. Like, so I haven't done anything for 5 years. Like I've been focused on this. So it's not like I'm partying. I'm not fucking going out. I'm not doing shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 5 years.
That's tough.
So just to put that, I want to illustrate
Yeah.
how dedicated I am to this. Like all kind of the boundary, everything. I've told everyone, this is what I'm doing, so this is my focus.
Yeah.
So it's been, I've been learning a ton by doing it this way, right? Like I've dove so deep that I'm trying to learn as much as I can for me, how to best fuel what I'm doing. Not only for myself, man, but then I can share that with other people when I'm done this. Like after a 5-year period, man, after I run across Canada, man, the amount of knowledge that I've acquired from all types of people and from my own experiences, I don't think anyone can probably get in the amount of time that I have unless they're doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So my whole goal is to just share that too, man. Like after I'm done, just, share people if they want to know, hey, how did you do that? And just kind of
Yeah.
pass that information on.
Yeah, that's amazing, dude. Do you have like a trainer or like a team that's with you that's
Yeah, so I've had a run coach for the last 3 years, Ron Lowen, and what he does, he knows exactly what I'm trying to do, and so he's been building out my programming every week. So every Sunday, we have an app called VDOT, and he programs my runs, and I get them on Sunday, and then I do them that week, and then I get my next week that Sunday, and I just keep doing it. So we don't really hang out. I don't meet up with him. We communicate over, online, and
Yeah.
and even though he's in Langley.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
I mean, like I talk to him from time to time, but like I'm not that guy that needs someone to tell me, I need someone to be with me to do whatever I need to do. It's like, hey, bro, tell me what I need to have, tell me what I need to do, and then I'll just do it, and then I'll let you know how I feel, and then you can, adjust accordingly.
Yeah.
In terms of a team, now I'm building out a team, or have built out somewhat of a team, because we need to have a massive team to make this happen. So we have a creative directive team now that's doing all the social media. I'm offloading that a bit now because most of all the social media for the last 4.5, 5 years I've been doing.
Yeah.
And so now I need to not just offload that, but also figure out how to also scale that. And I brought on a guy named Glenn. And Glenn's very fortunate to have met him. He's been in the social media space for 10, 15 years, building out brands and social media platforms, and then to like millions of followers, and then selling. He's built a company, and then he would sell it off, and then so he's done well. Like he's like a subject matter expert in social media and building content and stuff. So he's got his own team that works under him that's now thinking about a strategy as to how to gain followers before the run starts from my Instagram and all platforms. So also from an artistic perspective, what kind of vibe we want to have, what are we saying, how are we saying it. So just dialing it in more, like a more professional sort of content. So
Right.
that's going to be, you're going to start seeing a lot more stuff coming out over the next few weeks because we filmed a ton of stuff over the last week. So the next month or so, you're going to see a lot of that. So the goal now, I started with him about a month ago, and I had about 5,200 followers on my Instagram. We're in around 6,500 now in a month.
In a month.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
And so now we're gonna keep doing what we're doing, keep pushing out content and doing targeted sort of marketing. And we're looking at getting to 15,000 before the run starts.
Yeah.
And then the whole goal is to build that out, the view base, so that now we can engage the sponsors, because that's going to be important. I'm sharing this with you guys so you can understand how to monetize.
It's very interesting
So
stuff.
like we're already at, in 30 days, 1.4 million views on my Instagram account, which I was getting about 30,000 30 to 40,000 before I brought Glenn on. And so he definitely knows what he's doing. So we're going to keep building that out. So we're in around 5 million views before the run even starts. Now, when we can go to a company and say, hey, we've built out this platform, this is the many views that we're getting. Do you want to be part of this journey?
Right.
So that's kind of the strategy, and bringing more money in, because we want to also, the cost of running across Canada with having a team of videographers and doing all this stuff isn't cheap, man. It's going to cost lots and lots of money, which I don't have.
Yeah.
So we're now thinking about how do we do that. So I've connected with a few different business leaders in the Lower Mainland. One of them is Praveen Varshney. He's I guess he's the CEO of the Varshney Capital Group. It's a venture capitalist company. And he and I sat together not too long ago, and we had a chat, and I shared my story, and he's like, man, cool, man. Let's see if I can open up some doors for you. So he did help with Nature's Path. Nature's Path is the largest Canadian organic food company in Canada, and it's a $400 million company that's based in Richmond, and they're going to be a food sponsor.
Nice.
So all the oatmeals and those types of things, they make that kind of stuff. And then so I'm starting to have these conversations where we can start having these costs. We're working on getting an RV as we speak. So the RV, maybe 2, because we're going to need it for the crew and stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of things are happening. And so people, I'm only showing certain things but the behind the scenes stuff is far more time consuming, or not time consuming, but more challenging for me because it's a new thing, right?
Mhm.
Like running today for 5 or 6 hours, cool. It's gonna suck, but I can do that. It's
Yeah.
normal. But like last night, I was at meetings from 2 till 10 p.m. last night, like
Right.
8 hours of meetings.
Yeah.
And like I'm not a fucking meeting dude, man.
Yeah.
So like it's learning how to navigate these things and then figuring out how to generate donations or sponsors. So
Mhm.
like we want to see if we can get $500,000 worth of sponsors before the run even starts,
Yeah.
because it's going to cost money, right?
Oh, yeah,
If we
for
have
sure.
if we have a crew of 5 people, well, where's everyone sleeping? How is everyone eating?
Yeah.
Gas, insurance, videographers aren't cheap,
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it.
right? So there's a
Yeah.
ton kind of happening. So
Mhm.
these are the things I'm working on as I'm training.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot to have on your plate. That's cool though that you found a guy that's able to that has that experience, that knowledge, right?
Mhm.
That's something that we've actually found challenging with our social media is just
Fireman trying to figure it out with one smart guy out of 3 of us.
yeah, exactly. Like just the content and trying to engage with more people and stuff like that. That's been challenging because we're like Boris said, like we're firefighters. We're not really social media guys. We're not really tech
Well,
guys. Luckily, we have Francesco.
Well, you
but
are now.
we are
Yeah.
now. We're figuring it out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So I think like no, and look, it takes time, right,
Mhm.
to figure it out. But the question is, I guess, like, what do you want this podcast to look like? Yeah,
Mhm.
cool. Now you're talking on mics and you got someone editing. Okay,
Mhm.
cool.
yeah,
Well, now you set the standard. What's the next standard?
Mhm.
exactly.
What do you
Yeah,
want to do next? Okay, now you got some good imagery. Okay, cool. Now you
Yeah.
set that up. Do that.
Yeah.
What's next?
Always
Yeah.
trying to improve and be better, and I think it's always just looking at like what people listening want. Like that's the goal. Like we said when we first started, is
Sometimes they don't know.
yeah.
that's true. Yeah,
Sometimes, so look, for example, like, okay, who are your listeners?
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's mostly like aspiring firefighters and
Yeah,
firefighters. And,
definitely.
So
First
so
one.
they may not know what they don't know.
yeah,
So you might have to figure out how to package it for them so that they realize, oh man, just like you said earlier, your friend listened to it and he was like, oh, it was better than I thought.
yeah,
They don't know, man. They
yeah,
we're listening because a couple buddies of ours are doing something cool,
yeah,
right? So now how do you level that up? Well,
Mhm.
okay, you make it look better. Maybe you add a few. I don't like. I'm just throwing out ideas.
totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like maybe the visuals look a little bit better. Maybe you add short like say you now you start clipping up reels now and you start
Mhm.
pushing those out, but you
Yeah.
don't just have them as like simple just a video. Maybe you add something to make it
Mhm.
more flashier or more sexier.
yeah,
Those types of things. Again, and it is just social media, so your listeners are listening. They're listening and they're taking value out of what you're doing, but they're probably not saying, "Hey, you should do this better,"
Mhm.
yeah. That's true.
unless
Yeah.
you ask them.
Yeah,
Hey,
Yeah.
what do you guys think we should do to improve upon what we're doing? How can we make this better for you?
Mhm.
And then sometimes they'll give you that feedback, but again, they might not understand social media, so that's for you guys to figure out.
yeah.
How do we make this better?
It's been a great journey.
It has. I feel like we've learned a lot
Mhm.
by doing this, and we're improving. Like every time that we do something, we're getting better at it, and our skills are getting better. Like, people don't realize that even just like like sitting down and talking with someone, it like when we did our first podcast, we were like, and now we're able to have conversations that flow, a lot better, and it's just little improvements every time that we sit down and do this, right?
So it's like anything else, man.
Mhm.
The more you do something, the better you get at it.
Yeah,
Just like when you
exactly.
go to work, you're not the best firefighter when you first start, right?
No, exactly.
Take
Yeah.
time. Just so when you just keep putting in reps, it gets better and better and better. Like, man, I couldn't even talk on a mic 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? I couldn't. I was a hot mess. I'd be like saying all kinds of crazy things, or not even expressing myself in a way that people could even understand.
Right.
Mhm.
But reps, man, it gets better. You have more, and I'm not saying I'm amazing at it now, but I am better than I was before.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
For
all that
sure.
matters, really. is being
Yeah.
better than the day before.
And that's it. Exactly right, man. As long as you're getting better, and I think if you're putting out content or you're putting out a product that people are enjoying,
Yeah. Like we've had people reach out to us from all across Canada and a couple in the States now too. They're loving the podcast, and like I said, most of them are like aspiring first responders, and they're really liking the content that we're providing because it's a lot of info. Like the whole thing with us starting this was we just wanted to get information out to people who wanted to get into this line of work. And then, now with having awesome guests on, such as yourself, and it's really, we've captivated a bit of an audience of followers. And
it's almost like your thing, you started with first responders and mental health for them, but now it's grown into this thing where you're supporting, kids staying away from gangs and all these other aspects.
That's
right?
awesome though. Let it evolve. Let it turn into whatever it needs to turn into. You don't have to stay married to one idea, right? Like if it takes you in a certain direction, and or if you guys feel like you want to take it into a direction, do it, man.
yeah,
Because I mean, like, do what you feel will be valuable and that you're happy with.
yeah,
And if your listeners feel that or hear that coming out of your voices as you're doing it, man, people are gonna pay attention.
totally, for sure, man. Yeah. For if people want to donate to your cause, so it's Sach-in-Motion. Where can they send their donations, and where can they find you on social media?
Sure. So right now, I have my Instagram account, so it's such.in.motion. There's my link tree. You can make a donation through the link tree. You can also purchase tickets for the Golden Gala May 9th if you want to support the cause as well. And also for that event, it's not just supporting my cause, but it's also supporting building of a facility, a youth facility in Mission,
Okay.
and also for some programs for the Kids Play Foundation. Now, having said that, so I have my Instagram account. I have all the accounts now, man. I have Instagram, I have YouTube, I have TikTok, I have LinkedIn, and I have X. So anyone can use Sach-in-Motion on any one of those platforms. You can find me. The website is up now, so if someone wants to go to the website, it's sachinmotion.org. And so the donations can make in those areas. The updated website, so we have like basically a kind of a landing page website right now. The full-fledged website will be up mid-April, which will have all the bells and whistles, the map of the Run Across Canada. If people want to run with me, they can fill out a form. If people want to donate, they can do that too. If people want to be part of an email list, they can also put their information in there for that. And it'll be, that'll be like the sort of the portal for the Sach-in-Motion kind of stuff that's going to be coming out, like public speaking engagements, and these types of things. So yeah, man, website or Instagram are the easiest place. And any donation that gets made gets a tax receipt for it, so it's all done legitimately through my own foundation that I'm creating. And then as the run starts, then we're going to shift to the Canadian Men's Health Foundation is going to be creating their own landing page as well for the Run Across Canada. So they'll be actually tracking and taking all the donations for the Run Across Canada. And at the end of the run, they will then, based upon our agreement, give out grants to each of the charities that I've assigned that money needs to go to. So it's going to be straight and simple tax receipts. There's going to be legit like CRA sort of accounting for it. So it's all legit.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll also share your social media, like your Instagram on ours. We'll once we get this episode aired, we'll do a write up.
Sure.
And we'll tag you in it, and then
Put the website.
we'll
on
put
there
your
as well.
website on there
Awesome,
as
man.
well. And
No, awesome,
yeah.
man. Like, and again, if anyone wants to reach out or connect or join me for a run or at some point, man, like the Run Across Canada it's for everybody. It's not just for me, right? It's not even my run, man. It's everybody else's run.
Yeah.
And I'm just the tool or the vessel to kind of help with it. But it's gonna be fun, man. We're trying to create a movement across the country, and we want to see a lot of people out joining, and we'll see if we can make some history.
Well, I'll definitely take you up on joining you for a run one day. Absolutely. It has to be one of those like maybe 15K days, but
You let me know, man. And listen, I'll be starting June 16th to Run Across Canada, and I'll be starting in Victoria. So, I mean, I'll be running through Vancouver as well. So even during those times, man, like if you want to get a group of the boys coming out, man, like bring them out, man. Like I want to see if we're thinking about figuring out how to engage more people. And one of the ideas that we're kind of banting around is like towards like if we're in big city areas, like say Vancouver, last 5K people can join me with.
yeah.
So we're thinking about kind of creating something like that so we can get, like a bunch of run clubs of people coming out, like get a few hundred people
Yeah.
towards the end of each run, and then, having fun time.
Absolutely, man.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, right on. Well, thanks for joining us, dude. We really appreciate it.
No worries, man.
It was awesome to finally sit down and talk to you face to face. Like I said before, we've talked quite a bit over social media, but it's nice to actually sit down and have a conversation with you. And we really appreciate what you're doing. You know, we all, especially in our line of work, we all know people who have struggled with PTSD and mental health, and you know, there is still a bit of a stigma around it. And I think you're breaking that stigma with what you're doing, and we really appreciate that, man.
So we have just created our Patreon program, and it's online. We'll put a link in the description of this episode. It's got all our freebies on there. So it's got resume templates, the interview checklist,
The competitive edge checklist.
yeah, competitive edge checklist.
And we're also going to be diving into more in-depth interview episodes and hiring process stuff. And we're going to be posting it on there. It really does help us out because then we're able to pay Francesco for producing this podcast. If it wasn't for him, we'd be hooped.
You guys missed the part where we were just trying to turn this microphone on before this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we wouldn't be anywhere without him. So we'd like to start paying him a lot more.
And it's also going to be a way for us to just upgrade to better audio equipment, better cameras, better lighting, and all that kind of stuff to bring you guys a better experience with this podcast.
Yeah, and that was your idea actually, Damo, with the whole going over every interview question kind of in depth and really getting into the interview panel stuff.
Yeah, we'll be going into that in really great detail, really breaking apart the questions and just talking about like what they're actually asking in these questions, right? And yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be a lot of info, a lot of really, really good info.
And if it's not, let us know. We also have a chat group in there as well on Patreon.
That's right.
So if there's, guests you want us to see, bring on, or if there's questions you want us to ask or talk about on the podcast, you're more than welcome to ask us on there.
Yeah, for sure. And like when it comes to those behavioral / situational type questions, we can break down a question and talk about it for probably half an hour.
Yeah.
Right. Just one question.
Easily.
So there's going to be a lot of really good info on that. And like we said, it's going to really help support the podcast so we can upgrade better equipment and also keep Francesco around so that way there is a podcast.
Chaining him down to the table would be too cruel.
Yeah. Right on.
Well, I appreciate the comments, man, and I appreciate what you guys are doing. I think what you guys are doing is super important, and it's good to have more guys like you doing what you guys are doing. And I appreciate you guys giving me the time to come share and hang out, and look forward to running with you guys at some point.
Absolutely.
Do it.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, thanks, bro.